It's no secret that Donald Trump loves to make waves, often stirring the pot with his bold and sometimes outrageous statements. He thrives on controversy, and his pronouncements rarely lack shock value, always keeping the public and media on their toes. But even seasoned political observers were taken aback when, during a recent rally, the former president floated a truly audacious idea, absorbing Canada into the United States as its 51st state. This was not just another one of his usual provocations. The crowd roared with a mixture of amusement and disbelief, unsure whether to take him seriously or laugh it off as another of his grandiose plans. Trump, never one to shy away from grandstanding, grinned and doubled down, elaborating on his vision with characteristic bravado. He painted a picture of a unified North America, stronger and more prosperous than ever before, suggesting that such a union would be beneficial for both nations. He argued that Canada, with its close economic ties to the U.S., would benefit immensely from such a merger, citing trade and economic growth as key advantages. While Trump's statement was likely intended to provoke and entertain, it reignited a long-simmering debate about Canada's relationship with its southern neighbor, a topic that has been discussed in political circles for years. Is Canada, as some critics suggest, destined to become a mere appendage of the United States? Or is this just another example of political theater? Or does it possess the economic and political wherewithal to chart its own course in an increasingly complex world, maintaining its sovereignty and unique identity? The reaction to Trump's comments was swift and divided, with opinions varying widely across the political spectrum. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau dismissed the idea as ludicrous, emphasizing Canada's independence and national pride. While some conservative commentators in Canada cautiously welcomed the discussion, seeing it as an opportunity to explore new possibilities. One thing is for sure, Trump's bombshell has forced both Canadians and Americans to confront some uncomfortable truths about their interconnected destinies, sparking conversations that may shape the future of North American relations. It's undeniable. Canada and the United States are deeply economically intertwined. The two countries share the world's longest undefended border, and their economies are deeply integrated. Canada relies heavily on the United States for trade, with the U.S. being both its largest export market and import source. In 2024, bilateral trade between the two countries exceeded $700 billion. Canada sends roughly 75% of its exports south of the border, with crucial industries like oil and gas, lumber, and automobiles heavily reliant on American consumers. This dependence on the U.S. market makes Canada vulnerable to shifts in American economic policy. The close economic ties between the two countries are further cemented by the existence of NAFTA 2.0, the successor to the North American Free Trade Agreement. This agreement has facilitated the flow of goods, services, and capital across the border, but it has also been a source of contention. Critics argue that NAFTA 2.0 has primarily benefited large corporations, while leading to job losses in both countries. They also point to the agreement's dispute resolution mechanism, which they claim gives American companies an unfair advantage over Canadian ones. Proponents of closer ties between Canada and the U.S., including the possibility of Canada becoming a U.S. state, often highlight the potential economic benefits of such a union. They believe that merging the two economies could lead to a more robust and resilient economic landscape, benefiting citizens on both sides of the border. They argue that a unified North America would be an economic powerhouse, capable of competing more effectively with rising global powers like China. This could lead to increased global influence and a stronger position in international trade negotiations. One of the most frequently cited advantages is the potential for a single currency. A unified currency could streamline financial transactions and reduce the complexities associated with currency exchange. Advocates argue that scrapping the Canadian dollar in favor of the US dollar would eliminate currency fluctuations, reduce transaction costs for businesses, and simplify cross-border trade. This could make it easier for companies to operate seamlessly across the border. They point to the Eurozone as an example of the economic benefits that can accrue from monetary integration. The euro has facilitated easier trade and travel among member countries, and proponents believe a similar model could work for North America. Another potential benefit is increased access to U.S. infrastructure. The U.S. has a well-developed network of roads, railways, and airports that could greatly benefit Canadian businesses and travelers. Canada, with its vast geography and sparse population, often struggles to develop and maintain its infrastructure, particularly in remote areas. This can hinder economic development and access to essential services. Joining the United States, proponents argue, would give Canada access to a more extensive and well-funded network of roads, railways, and airports. This could lead to improved connectivity and economic opportunities for remote and rural areas. Furthermore, advocates of integration point to the potential for increased investment and job creation. They believe that a larger unified market would be more attractive to investors. They argue that a larger, more integrated North American market would attract more foreign investment, leading to economic growth and job opportunities on both sides of the border. This could result in a more dynamic and prosperous economy for all involved. While the potential economic benefits of closer ties between Canada and the US are often touted, critics warn of the significant drawbacks of such a move, particularly the potential loss of Canadian sovereignty and cultural identity. They argue that the unique fabric of Canadian society, woven through years of history and cultural evolution, could be at risk. They argue that becoming the 51st state would essentially erase Canada's unique history, values, and place in the world. The distinctiveness that sets Canada apart on the global stage could be overshadowed by American influence. One of the biggest concerns is the potential impact on Canada's social safety net. This network of support is seen as a cornerstone of Canadian society, providing essential services to those in need. Canada takes pride in its universal healthcare system, which provides all citizens with access to essential medical care regardless of their ability to pay. This system is a source of national pride and a key element of the Canadian identity. Joining the US, critics fear, would mean abandoning this system in favor of the American model, which is often criticized for its high costs and unequal access. The shift could lead to increased financial strain on Canadian families. Beyond healthcare, Canadians cherish their social programs, including affordable education, generous parental leave policies, and robust social assistance programs that support the well-being of all citizens, and strong social assistance programs. These initiatives are seen as vital to maintaining social equity and supporting vulnerable populations. These programs, critics argue, are a reflection of Canada's commitment to social justice and equality, values that are not always shared by its southern neighbor. The fear is that these core values could be compromised. Moreover, opponents of integration worry about the potential erosion of Canadian culture. The rich tapestry of Canadian heritage, celebrated through various cultural events and symbols, could be diluted. Canada prides itself on its multiculturalism, bilingualism, and commitment to peacekeeping. These elements are integral to the national identity and are cherished by Canadians. They fear that becoming a US state would undermine these core aspects of Canadian identity and values. The distinctiveness that defines Canada could be at risk, leading to a loss of what makes the nation unique.